Hello, my name is Neil Smith, and I'm delighted to introduce Sarah Wise to our education webinar series. This is one of three talks in our education series. So I'll give you a little introduction about Sarah before she gives her talk. Sarah joined DEED in 2000. DEED is a global education and learning centre serving Dorset and Hampshire. It supports education and innovation by encouraging and inspiring teachers, pupils and communities to develop their understanding of global issues and cultural identity. Sarah has been working in global education and learning, offering support to teachers, early year practitioners and the community on all things connected to global learning. In her spare time, Sarah also co-runs Wimborne Wool on Waste and is a director of the Fairtrade shop in Wimborne. She is passionate about creating a more environmentally friendly, sustainable and fair world where everyone can play an active part in looking after each other and our precious planet. So welcome, Sarah, and we hope you enjoy her talk.
What I wanted to do really is to just talk about DEED and what we do. So DEED is an education charity. We've been around now since 1983, which is quite a long time. I've been involved since the year 2000, so 22 years now. And we are based at Westmoors Middle School, not Wimborne, Westmoors Middle School near Ferndown. And we work with schools and we work with early year settings and we work with the community right the way across the county of Dorset. And we also cover Hampshire and the Isle of Wight as well. We've been around a long time. We started off in a little cupboard in the east of the county in Bournemouth, hence the second E in our name, DEED. We were Development Education in East Dorset, but we've since expanded and contracted and expanded again. And we didn't want to get rid of the second E, otherwise we'd be dead. So we kept that in, but our name often doesn't really mean very much. What we are is what's called a development education centre. We're one of about 25 across the country, and our real focus is education, in particular global education, and it's about supporting and encouraging teachers and young people across the county to really think about their role as a young global citizen. And one of the things we do with them, but one of the examples of things that we do with teachers and with young people is we ask them to think about what a young global citizen looks like. Whether that's now or whether that's in the future depends on the kind of course that we're running. But what we do is we ask them to think about what knowledge and understanding they need, what skills and things that they need to be able to do. So we think about their head with the knowledge, their hands with the skills, and also what values and attitudes they hold. And that's the heart area. And we really look at that quite early on in any kind of work we do with people across the county, because we really want to get a sense of us all being global citizens. We are living and working in a very interconnected, interdependent world. And it's really important that our interconnections are fair, they're just, and they're sustainable as well. So sustainability is a really big part of our work. I think, it's my background. My background's in environmental education and overseas development work. And it's something that I've always been very, very passionate about at DEED. So we have that as a big, big part of our work. We also have a lot of work around multicultural Britain and Black history and looking at multiple perspectives around the world. We do a lot of work bringing in Black peoples as role models for our young people to be able to see. We also like to include the stories of people coming into Dorset and also leaving Dorset as well. So we have a lot of our work. My colleague Louise, who's in this picture here, does a lot of work in schools, helping prepare young people to live in modern Britain. And this was a project that we worked with Year 8 students across schools in Dorset. This was in Allenbourne a few years ago now, before COVID, where we were talking about many faiths and no faiths, getting people to come in and share their stories with our young people. And it was just a fantastic project. It ended because of funding, but we're hoping that at some point that can be kind of, brought back again. As I said before, and the main focus of this session really is around sustainability. And what we're finding from schools is the importance of being able to work with children and teachers to actually do things that are positive, to take positive actions. Now, one of my kind of areas, I suppose, one of my passions is around single-use plastic. I'm quite active in the local community with Wimborne War on Waste, trying to get people to really rethink their use of single-use and disposable items. So I've kind of brought that into my work with Deed and with schools. And here I'm doing an assembly with Witchhampton First School children, looking at single-use items and looking at alternatives to those items. And the children had to decide which ones were single-use and which ones were reusable, and therefore also the impact of all of those on the environment. Very much of what we do at Deed is linked to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We find them a really useful hook, a really useful framework to not only link the work that the children are doing here in Dorset, but also with young people around the rest of the world. And I think the SDGs are a really powerful tool. I'm just always very, very surprised when I go into schools that no one's ever heard of them. So I think there's a huge role for the SDGs to play in terms of promoting and highlighting collaboration, highlighting creativity, and highlighting the fact that if we all really care, we can and do make a difference. We use a lot of art and creativity with our work as well. And here's an example of some work that some young people have done. They had a big exhibition in a hall and invited the press in before COVID. And it was all around ocean plastic. And that one says, ocean plastic is not fantastic. Just to kind of help show the impact that the children really understand, but their families needed to understand a little bit more. Another area that I think really could go a lot further is around food and fair trade. And here we have my colleagues with some very young children over in Dorchester at the Prince of Wales School, exploring food and fair trade, where food comes from, where it travels from, how it travels, looking at whether or not we should be eating local food or global food, and where fair trade fits into that as well, because a very big part of our work is around justice. It's around what we can do to help the global south, what we can do as a sort of a part of being in an interconnected world. Just wanted to kind of finish really with talking a little bit more about the resources and the exhibitions that we have at Deed. We have a lot of resources and exhibitions that can go out into school around Black history, around different countries, around themes as well, like water and waste and recycling. And we also have exhibitions that highlight work that's going on in the local areas as well. So this is an exhibition about Dorset's hidden histories, which explores the presence of Black people in Dorset over the last 400 years. So our work is very varied. I was looking through the government strategy this afternoon in preparation for tonight, and I think there's an awful lot of opportunities there, which are really, really positive. A lot of the work that we do at Deed is with adults, it's with trainee teachers, it's with senior leadership teams, it's with whole schools. And I think there's a real opportunity there to empower and enable our adults in learning situations to know where they can go for great resources and great support. I think that's enough for me. It's not quite what I was planning, but I hope that's been a little insight into the work that we do. If there's any questions, I'd be really happy to answer them, and I'll stop sharing my screen now if that's okay.
Thank you, Sarah, for your excellent talk on helping those in education be more aware of global issues and practical ways they can help change the future for the better. If you enjoyed Sarah's talk, then why not watch the other two speakers in this education webinar series? You can find the links to their talks below. You can also find out more about Zero Carbon Dorset, our Dorset 2030 report, and the climate and ecological crises on our website and YouTube channel. The links are again shown below. You can also sign up to join us on our journey to help Dorset be a happier and healthier place to live for all. Please tell your friends and colleagues about the work of Zero Carbon Dorset and point them to our website and YouTube channel. Thank you again for watching.